When I bought the Datsun, these weren't very desirable cars. There were plenty of them for sale. They all needed restoration, but the market wasn't super hot for them like they are now. This car I bought running and driving in 2014, it was like 2,500 bucks, and it ran, it drove. The brakes were super soft, they needed work, but the interior was complete, the exterior was complete. It had been through some partial restorations in the past, and I thought it was a great deal. I pretty much called the guy on Craigslist and I said, hey, is this real? And the guy sounded like a real individual and didn't sound like a scam. So I got the truck and trailer and I went up that same day that I found the listing and I bought the car. The car started having good days and it started having bad days, and I couldn't piece it together for the longest time. And then decided one day to look at how the timing was set on the car, and the actual lock for the distributor that would keep its timing was worn so much that there was no way to actually lock down the timing on the engine. And because of that, when you hit a pothole or a bump or something, it would literally just bump the timing to whatever it decided to be for that little while. And so some days it ran really good and other days it ran like crap. And for the longest time, I had no idea why. But now that when I found that kind of clued me in on, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. But, so between that and I started going through the engine wiring harness, and there was a lot of pieces that had been heat affected, we'll call it. I decided to start tearing it down. That was really my intention when I bought the cars. I wanted to restore it. I wanted to do something cool with it. I wanted to make it a race car. As I was tearing into it, I started to realize that I really needed to take this basically down to nothing. The sheet metal is super old Japanese steel. It is very thin. It does wear out really easily, and the car did have a fair amount of rust to it. So first thing I did, much to my neighbor's dismay, was I went and media blasted it in the driveway. That was a big mistake, but it got the job done. And so after it was down to bare metal, started going through, cutting through all the panels, going all that, and got all the new sheet metal in that I needed. Also did completely stitch welded the chassis. Everything on this car from the factory was pretty much just seam sealed and glued together. There was very little actual welding of all the panels together. And so I went through and I stitch welded all of the sheet metal together to help reinforce the body. I did complete frame rail replacements on the car, and then subframe connectors as well. So everything front to back is a little bit stiffer now. I started with the roll cage. Right now it's just a 4-point. Cut out the rear quarters to make room for the gigantic wide body that's going to be going on it. Cut out the tops of the strut towers to put in welding camber plates. You name it, by now I've pretty much touched it. And then with all of that work, it pretty much got shelved for the last 2 years. I moved, my fiance accepted a new job. So we bought a new house. I moved out of my old shop, moved into the new shop, started building the new shop, getting all the equipment that I wanted in here, getting everything set up. I started my business, and I was working on client cars, and I was building, this and building that. And it was just one thing led to another while the car just kind of collected dust. I'm planning on going through as much of this process as I really can. I don't plan on outsourcing very much of the work to see this through to completion. All the body work to get it finished out, all the motor work to get it finished out, paint, finishing, whatever metal fabrication work there is, I plan on doing from my shop here. If this is something you want to watch, definitely like, comment, subscribe, get notified, and I'm gonna start trying to put this together as quickly as I can. I will see you in the next episode.